With fall 2025 season of anime coming to an end pretty soon, I figured it's time for me to talk about the second season of Rama One Half. Yes, you heard that right. Second season of Rama One Half. This is the follow up to Rama One Half, the 2024 adaptation from Mappa Studios that came out last year. A anime that I absolutely like. I actually felt was refreshing, and it's kind of following that same trend that a lot of really big shows from back in the 90s, 80s, 70s of anime are now getting like this modern day re-anime adaptation treatment. After all, the first iteration of Ranma One Half came out back in 1989 by Studio Dean themselves. And to say that this show has garnered such a cult following and is still one of the most biggest talked about animes of recent memory many years later is saying something. So with Rama One Half and the franchise itself, I knew where I was gonna get myself into. After all, given that like a show like Ursa Yatsura also got the same anime re-adaptation treatment that also came out around this time period as well, is saying something. So with Ranma One Half, the first season back in 2024, I actually liked everything about the show, from the way they were able to adapt the original set of episodes from the first iteration of Ranma One Half to the characters, the voice acting, and of course the animation by Mappa Studios is a treat and is a delight that is worth mentioning, worth talking over. And again, everything about the show to me was like one of the best animes come out of last year, 2024. While I think this didn't make much of an impact last year, it definitely left a really lasting impression on me. So going into season two, I was more or less expecting the same shtick, the same comedy slapstick, and a lot of the character developments between Akane and Ranma and their up and down downward spiral as a relation in their relationship to seeing if they're going to be or not to be a couple, etc. And season two more or less just continues that trend of what happened in the first season of Ranma One Half of last year, albeit a lot more I guess in a way a bit of a mature stance. I've noticed now in the second season, Rama's actually taking a lot of what's happened from the first season with a little bit of seriousness, with stride, and it's making sure that no matter what happens to Akane, that he will always be there to protect her, to stand in front of those who are trying to harm Akane in harm's way. Even though he admits that he doesn't like love her like in person and like in a way, like deep down mentally he has some feelings for her and he's going to do whatever he can to get the girl that he wants. But of course, in this second season, we're introduced to a myriad of different characters that makes up this crazy, eclectic world that is at large. And it really keeps you on your toes, really guessing as to like what the next episode's going to offer. And again, it's just super unpredictable, which I absolutely do like from the first season of the show. Now, with that being said, I think that a lot of the humor, and this is something that I've also mentioned back in my when talking about the first season of Rama One Half of last year, I think the humor for a lot of the scenes in the second season and to the first season may not be suitable to everybody because again, this is an adaptation from back in the 80s, so a lot of the humor and the subject matter may not have aged all too well. It may not appeal to a good modern day set of anime fanatics. But for me, I actually like was cool with the jokes. I was actually cool with the themes and such. Every time Rama transforms into a girl, every time she gets splashed with water and transforms back to a guy, there isn't like any crazy sexism stuff going on. But just know that like it does like play a little bit of a role in terms of like humor and how it progresses into the said story itself. And I like it. There were even like some surprisingly serious moments in the second season that I was actually pretty shocked to see around this time around, considering this was like more of a comedy, romantic anime type of show. And I guess there's another complaint that I will say I'm going to notice from some people when watching Rama One Half in general is that maybe some of the characters are not going to appeal to everybody. Maybe some of the voice acting may not be good enough. I mean, the biggest example of this would be the voice actors for Shampoo. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Shampoo in Rama One Half from the first season and the second season, but I think a lot of people are not going to be not too kind with her voice acting chops because of her squeaky, high pitched voice. And I get it. I understand that people do not like squeaky high pitched girls, but like in the way that in the grand scheme of things, like it actually fits really well. I think it's like still endearing even to this day. And again, there's a lot of like really nice and humorous moments where it's like so many things are happening all at once, but at the end it leads to like a final climactic ending, or maybe like a bit of a cliffhanger, which we have noticed from the past 11 episodes of the second season. So again, take it with some grain of salt that there might be some voice acting questionable moments for some people where you may not like some of the characters because of how the voice acting was portrayed in this show. But with that being said, again, second season Run One Half is still incredible. The animation is still fire from Mappa Studios like always. The voice acting, despite some mixed results, is still really stellar. The story, the progression of the characters that we come to know from the first season has definitely come a little bit of a long way since then. And whilst maybe you can argue that like it hasn't progressed all too much from the first season, considering that we're already like 11 episodes deep as of me recording this video, I mean, it's only a matter of time to see if this show gets a third season or maybe a fourth season in the near future. Or it might continue the second season going to next year for all we know, right? Because right now, I do sort of wish that we have more character development with some of the characters here and there. We did get that in the first season, to be fair, but I just wish there was a little bit more oomph in the character development. And I guess while I'm at it, I feel like the theme song for Wrong One Half Season 2 of this reanimation is a little bit weaker this time around compared to the first season's theme song of Rama One Half. But needless to say, I think this is still like a really good quality anime nonetheless. And I feel like for anyone who really likes the Wrong One Half franchise alone, this is definitely like a well deserved good anime adaptation of the original source material. And with that being said, currently, with 11 episodes deep and potentially coming to an end, or maybe continuing to next year, I'm gonna probably give this currently like a light to decent 7 on this thing right now. And yeah, just wanted to simply talk about Rama One Half Season 2, and more or less that's it. I'll see you on the next one later.